Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is October 2nd. Week 4 is in the books. It was a good week. Not if you're a Dolphins fan, obviously. It was a very, very bad week. Very, very bad week then. But, the league is shaping up. We have some new teams that are emerging. I am wearing my Vikings shirt for a reason. The Central Division Champions Vikings shirt. It's a very old shirt. I really like this shirt, but the Vikings continue to impress. Is there QB controversy in Green Bay? Jordan Love, Malik Willis. The Eagles players are coaching themselves. I don't know. Lots to talk about in this episode, obviously. And this is what this episode's going to be. As always, we will be recapping the previous week. And as always, giving off some college football highlights here. Off with the Week 5 college football highlights. Former UNLV Rebel QB Matthew Sluka has left the program. He is taking a redshirt season because apparently he was promised $100,000. UNLV did not pay him, so he is like, okay, I'm just leaving then. Screw you guys. Their backup looked good this week, Hajj Malik Williams, but that's a crazy story. New NIL wrinkle right there. The Heisman race is starting to heat up. Travis Hunter, 9 catches, 89 yards, a receiving TD, and another interception in this one. I think he has like 560 yards and 6 TDs so far on the season with 2 interceptions on the defensive side of the ball. Ashton Genty, the Boise State running back. These are his season stats so far. 82 carries, 845 yards, and 13 touchdowns through 14 games. He's on pace to beat Barry Sanders' records right now, which are almost untouchable, people thought. That's incredible. And then Jalen Milroe beating number 1 Georgia, 27, actually number 2 Georgia, sorry. 27 of 33, 374 yards, 2 TDs, 16 carries, 117 yards, and another 2 TDs. Those are probably my top 3 in the Heisman race right now. Speaking of that Bama-Georgia game, Kalen DeBoer is now 41-9 since becoming a D1 football coach. That's incredible. Do they have their new Saban? That's a lot of expectations, but we'll keep moving here. Miami and Virginia Tech played Friday night. Their kickers had some long 50-plus yard kicks. They were going back and forth with those. Those were nice. Miami tight end Cam McCormick is also older than Tremaine Edmonds, who is playing his 7th season in the NFL this year. You figure out how that one works. And then finally, Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, the 2 true freshmen. Ryan Williams only being 17, of course. They might be the 2 best receivers in the NCAA, just in general. They are unbelievable. The things Ryan Williams did against Georgia on Saturday night were crazy. Jeremiah Smith was making his own plays in the Ohio State game, but that is the college football Week 5 highlights. And yeah, time to get into the Week 4 recap here. Okay, starting off with the Monday Night Football games. Obviously, the games we watched most recently. Titans 31, Dolphins 12. I am going to start off with the Titans. Give myself a chance, a little breather, I guess, before I really go in on the Dolphins. To start it off, yeah, we got absolutely embarrassed by a Titans team that started Mason Rudolph for the majority of the game and was missing their best player in Jeffrey Simmons. Embarrassed. It was a very, very bad game. The defense played well. They kept the Titans' offense in check, but again, Will Levis in the first quarter, he threw an interception to Emmanuel Ogbah, and then Mason Rudolph comes in. We all know he stinks, so couldn't really move the ball. There was a couple explosive plays from Tony Pollard that were kind of their only big plays of the game. It was a fairly split duo between the back of Pollard and Spears. They like both of those guys quite a bit, it seems, and it's a very even playing field for the two of them. We'll see who breaks out in that role. Other things for the Titans, I guess. Tavondre Sweat is just huge. Like, it is hard to run. Like, I was like, okay, Jeffrey Simmons is out. Tavondre Sweat's still there, but, like, he's not Jeffrey Simmons, and he's not Jeffrey Simmons. But Tavondre Sweat is, again, I said it during the draft process, he is a mammoth of a man, and he can move. He's just a freak. I don't know, not much expectations for the Titans moving forward, but literally no expectations for the Dolphins, at least until Tua gets back. If only one quarterback can run your offense, maybe your offense sucks. I think it's as simple as that. The Mike McDaniel shtick is wearing off for me. It can't look that bad. We can't go 10 quarters without scoring a touchdown when we have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Devon Achane all playing on the same field together. We looked worse than the 2023 Patriots with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi throwing to absolutely no one. That's how bad Miami's offense has been. And it shouldn't be. If you are the offensive genius, offensive guru, make it easier. Not having so many motions and the timing has to be perfect with everything. Run a regular offense. Same thing. Third down, fourth downs. For some reason, we refuse to run the ball forward. Lots of sweeps, lots of outside runs. Can we just run it forward a yard? Maybe not at a shotgun too. It's been embarrassing. It's been an embarrassing couple weeks to be a Dolphins fan. And it's not even like Tyler Huntley isn't that bad. We've seen him play pretty good football. And I joke, Pro Bowl quarterback, but it has to look better. It has to look like somewhat of an NFL offense when there are other coordinators around the league who are winning with their backups currently. I mean, they just won with Mason Rudolph. The Packers were winning with Malik Willis. Joe Flacco comes in. We'll talk about that in a bit. And they win. Why can't we do it? Why can't anyone look is at least half as good as Tua does in this offense? I don't know. It's embarrassing. It's very, very embarrassing. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. I have more written down here. I think I covered on a lot of it though. Yeah, I guess the last thing, we haven't had a lead in this season so far. We have the one win, but that came on a last-second field goal from Jason Sanders. One of the lone bright spots really on offense. His leg seems pretty good this year. But yeah, haven't had a lead through 4 games so far this season, matching the 05 Texans team that went 2-14 that year, the 2012 Chiefs team that went 2-12 that year, and the 2017 Browns team that went 0-16 that year. Good company to be in right now. It's tough. I guess positive, little bit of a better outlook. The defense played great. The defense played awesome. Yeah, were they going against Will Levis and Mason Rudolph? Yeah, makes it a little bit easier, but they played well. And I know people look, 31 points. What do you mean the defense played well? Of those 31 points, 24 of the 31 points, 24 of those came on possessions where the defense gave up 27 yards or less. That's not even like we stopped them. It's just they needed a first down to get into scoring range, which, yay, Dolphins offense for not even being able to move a ball whatsoever. Yeah, and then again, Jalen Phillips left with a knee injury. He tweaked it at some point during the game, and they were like, let's not worry about you. You're just coming back from another major injury. They just put a brace on it instead, and was like, all right, go back out there. And he left the game. No word on what that injury is yet, but if he does have a fairly significant injury, just another reason to be pissed off at this coaching staff, because this is kind of how they handled injuries last year and previously, and I don't know why we aren't being more careful in a game where we aren't going to win because the offense can't get a first down at all. Yeah, I think it's as simple as that, I guess. This close to firing everyone, wanting everyone to be fired, because I have no control. The only thing I did have control of was what team am I going to pick as a child? And for some reason, I picked the Dolphins. Yay. All right, moving on. The other Monday Night Football game, which thank God there was another Monday Night Football game that people could watch, because if you weren't a Titans or a Dolphins fan, I don't know why you were watching the other one. But Seahawks 29, Lions 42. The Lions, this is their first time their offense really looked like that 2023 offense. They played absolutely lights out in this one. Jared Goff literally played lights out. 18 of 18 for 292 yards. That is absolutely incredible. It is the most yards without an incompletion in NFL history. The other three guys on that list were Frank Flitchock in 1939 with 179 yards, Pete Beathard in 1966 with 141, and Arnie Herber in 1945 with 141 yards also. So Goff in some very elite company there. And to top it all off, he did catch a touchdown in this one too. Jared Goff truly just doing it all. And yeah, the run game also looked good. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Montgomery had a hell of a run where he broke several tackles, a mini Beastquake kind of moment. Awesome to see. But Gibbs, 14 carries, 78 yards, 5.6 yards per carry, 2 TDs. Montgomery, 12 for 40 for a touchdown, and it was his one catch for 40 yards where he broke a bunch of tackles. Jameson Williams had a big catch. Tim Patrick was getting involved, so that was nice to see someone solidify it maybe as a wide receiver 3. I don't know, but the Lions looked like the Lions have done. Defense on the other side, obviously, they gave up 29 points to the Seahawks. Tyrion Arnold needs to stop holding people. I'm trying to remember. I think he went into the game with 8 penalties on the season. He added another 3 in this one, bringing his total to 11. Just stop being grabby. Troy Aikman was saying it's like, oh, they need to put some middens on him in practice so he literally can't hold. And not a bad idea, but that is costing the Lions a ton because their defense has been playing well, and just little mistakes like that should fix itself throughout the season. Yeah, the Lions are back to looking like how I thought the Lions would throughout the season. We'll keep going. Seahawks on the other side. I knew that this would be a game where, okay, the Lions should prove themselves that they're a little bit cut above than the Seahawks right now, but the Seahawks played a very, very nice game, though. Geno Smith, I need to start giving him just a little bit more respect. I need to start including him in conversations when I say Dak, when I say Purdy, when I say Tua, when I say Goff. Geno should be a part of that group of QBs. And maybe if he wasn't a bust for 7 years, he would be included earlier. But again, he has been playing great. Was 38 of 56 for 395 yards in this one, and a touchdown, spreading the ball all over the field. Metcalf 7 catches, Lockett 5 catches, JSN 8 catches. They got so many guys to work with. Even Charbonnet and Walker 5 and 4 catches apiece there. And Kenneth Walker is just a fun player to watch when he's on the field. There's times where it's a negative run, he gets blown up, but the odd time he does like the spectacular thing, it's like incredible. And he did the spectacular thing in this one. He was getting thrown to the ground by Alex Anzalone. He spun around so his back was facing where he was running, but no points of contact had been down yet. And he decided from his feet to just backflip over Anzalone, who was on the ground holding him, sprung up, kept running. Like, that's some of the most impressive shit I have ever seen on the football field. I don't know. Yeah, the Seahawks are fun. The Seahawks have now emerged, to me anyways, as a true playoff team. We're very early in the season, obviously, but I like the Seahawks a bunch. Ryan Grubb, the first-time play caller for Seattle, looks like he knows what he's doing. He does have a lot to work with, but he's showing that he knows what he's doing with them. And the defense was, again, they let up 42 points in this one. Also, shout out to, actually, I'll go, but yeah, they did let up 42 points in this one, but they were missing Boye Mafe, Byron Murphy, and I think someone else fairly major in this one that I'm forgetting about, which I think I should just be able to look up. Maybe. Hold on. Boye Mafe. Julian Love left with an injury, and Uchenna Nwosu. Oh, wait, so it was not Murphy. Okay, it was Uchenna Nwosu, Leonard Williams, and Jerome Baker. Why did Keith say that Boye Mafe wasn't playing? He definitely said that Boye Mafe wasn't playing. Mafe or Murphy didn't show up on the side. Either way, lots of guys were missing on the Seahawks defense, and if you miss that many key starters, both your edge guys, two of your best interior players, like obviously the Lions will be able to do, but I do think that the Seahawks have the pieces to make a bit of a run. If people stay hurt, obviously, but I think they can go on a run ability in this offense. We'll go all the way back to Thursday Night Football now. Giants 20. Oh, wait. Nope. Cowboys 24. Giants 17. This game stunk. This was a very, very bad game. I predicted that it was going to be a bad game. Just I predicted that the Giants were going to win instead of the Cowboys. And realistically, I think the Giants should have won this one. The refs screwed them multiple times, starting off with a phantom face mask call on, I believe it was Cody Bellinger, who his face mask got grabbed by the Cowboys guy. He didn't even touch the other face mask, and that was a big call. I think that would have put them at like 1st and 10 at like the Cowboys 20 or something, like in the red zone. Then there was another one where the Cowboys long play touchdown, flag on the play, holding, and on the replay you could see it was a holding. It wasn't a bit of a soft holding, like sure, but you called holding, there was a holding. That's the play. And nope, the ref picked up the flag, touchdown. So that's basically 2 swings in scoring plays where that's what it came down to. It came down to a touchdown at the end of this one. Bad game, though. Very bad game. Very poorly reffed. The taunting call on CeeDee Lamb was atrocious. Yeah, the refs were just kind of in their bag in this one, I guess. Not much to really say about the Cowboys. They had their longest rush of the season of 12 yards with CeeDee Lamb. When CeeDee Lamb is playing the Deebo Samuel role in your offense sucks. Something that should not happen. CeeDee Lamb is much too good of a wide receiver to get backfield touches on top of it. It's incredible that the Cowboys just did no. Zeke, Rico Dowdle, Dalvin Cook, we're fine. We don't need running backs. Are you kidding me? They need running backs. They need running backs desperately. And then on top of the offense just looking not good, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence will both be missing multiple weeks. I think Parsons is hopefully just 1 week. Lawrence will be multiple weeks according to the reports. Bad football. Bad football played in this one. Giants on the other side. Dable is an absolute coward for kicking a field goal on the goal line down in this one. Simple as that. That kind of ended up being a bit of a turning point. You weren't scoring anyways. Daniel Jones is just shown he can't push the ball down the field. There was multiple deep shots where guys were open and Daniel Jones just didn't have the arm to get the ball there because it was a pretty well-called game, all things considered, passing game-wise. You look at the box score, you would look like, oh, Daniel Jones had a pretty good game. He had a pretty good game for Daniel Jones standards. For normal NFL QB standards, he missed all the throws that really mattered. I'm trying to remember what it was. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it. I think he was 1 for 10 on throws past 10 yards in this one. not good. Maybe this either way. He was not good throwing the ball down the field, and that's what killed the offense because that offensive line was good. They were holding up in pass protection so well. Daniel Jones had time to move around in the pocket, find Neighbors. Neighbors left the game with a concussion, I believe. Haven't heard anything about that. I think that he's fine. Yeah. The run game, though, was weird because the offensive line looked so great in pass protection, and during when they would try to run the ball, for some reason, the Dallas defensive line was able to stop them running somehow. I think Mozzie Smith kind of made some plays finally, but yeah, bad game. Bad game. Bad game. Simple as that. Simple as that. Keep going on to the Sunday afternoon games now. Steelers 24, Colts 27. It started to look like maybe an Anthony Richardson game. He was making some plays, looking pretty good. Then he leaves with an injury, leaves quickly, comes back in, and then immediately Shane Steichen was like, okay, goal line play, QB power. And then he gets smoked in the head by Minkah Fitzpatrick while Richardson was sliding. Left the game. Actually, oh no, it was he left the game. I reversed those. They got down to the goal line, QB power, gets smoked by Minkah. Flacco finishes off the drive. Jonathan Taylor touchdown. Whenever they get the ball back. First play, Anthony Richardson back in the game. They run it again, and he gets smoked in the hip. I believe he's just day-to-day. Will be okay, but they're like, okay, take a precaution. Flacco goes in. And Joe Flacco, again, the Joe Flacco legacy is real. It is very fun to see him still be able to sling it around. I wish I had a backup quarterback who could do 1/10 of what Joe Flacco can do. It's absolutely crazy, but he now has the longest streak of multi-TD passing games currently at 6. Way to go, Joe Flacco. That's a great stat. Like, no other ways around it. People thought it's like, oh, he should retire. He was bad for the Jets. He was bad for the Broncos. Those are just bad teams and poorly run teams. Simple as that. And yeah, Shane Steichen and the Colts, like, this is the thing. If Anthony Richardson does go down, Joe Flacco should be there to pick up the pieces a little bit, just like Gardner Minshew was last year. But the offensive potential when Anthony Richardson has his games, it looks really fucking good. Jonathan Taylor left this one with an injury. Trey Sermon came in, looked pretty good, but hopefully this doesn't start becoming a thing for Jonathan Taylor. He's been injured the last couple seasons now, and hopefully he just ends up being okay. Steelers on the other side. It was... You came back a little bit. It was looking like it was going to be a runaway game, was 17-3 going into the half, and put together some good final drives. Justin Fields he's QB1. I don't know how you ever put Russ back in this one. 22 of 34, 312 yards of passing TD, also added 55 yards rushing. Najee Harris just straight up stinks. I don't want to drop Jaylen Warren in fantasy, but I think I have to, and now I'm rethinking it because I do think Jaylen Warren is the more dynamic back. This is just me. This is my thoughts live about what I should do with my fantasy team right now. And that's the thing. Won't even spoil anything because waivers happen next week, so I have to decide who I want to drop. Pickens continues to be incredible, and I should get credit for naming him my wide receiver 1 of his draft class. 7 catches for 113. Yeah, I don't know. This was a close game, and it was nice to see the Steelers offense be able to move the ball. Oh, the other thing I had to mention about the Steelers offense, Darnell motherfucking Washington. Give him the ball more. He is 6'7". He can move like that. He did basically the same play at Georgia where catches the ball in the flats, stiff arms a defender, run, and then hurdles over another guy. He should not be able to do like that, move like that at his size. When he's on the field, it's basically just like having another tackle out there. He can move people. He's so good. He can be so good. I really hope that he develops really well, but he's a weapon for the Steelers. He's so much fun. And I think we can move on from that one. Next game up, Vikings 31, Packers 29. The Vikings, man. Like, there's a reason I'm wearing this shirt today. They just continue to be good. Simple as that. The defense continues to play well, continues to make plays. Sam Darnold continues to be maybe the MVP front leader. I don't know. That's, again, sounds crazy to me, but he was 20 of 28, 275 yards, 3 passing TDs, and an interception. Aaron Jones continues to look good. They get Jordan Addison back. He has 3 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson is obviously Justin Jefferson. They're still waiting on Hawkinson to come back. Who got the interceptions in this one, too? They had 3 interceptions in this one. Also had a forced fumble. Not Sean Murphy Bunting, but Byron Murphy, the corner, not the defensive tackle for the Seahawks, interception and a forced fumble in this one. Shaq Griffin had an interception. Kamar Grugier-Hill also with an interception. It's a fun team. The Vikings are obviously, in my opinion, the best story in football right now for very, very good reasons. And people are drumming up. It's like, oh, is there a QB controversy in Minnesota? I guess we'll see. They obviously have a lot of faith in J.J. McCarthy, and they have a lot of faith even like after the preseason, because he did play very well in that preseason game. Some things to work out, but again, preseasons, that's what it's for. Sam Darnold's going to get a bag, though, from someone. And I think I said this last week, but you look at these teams that are so QB needy, a team like the Giants, maybe, a team like the Raiders, someone will give him an obscene amount of money to be their starter. And when I say obscene amount, with the way QB contracts are going, $40 million plus easy for Sam Darnold next year, which is, again, long season. It's quarter way through now. We'll see how he continues, but someone's going to give Sam Darnold an insane amount of money to finish this year. But yeah, the Vikings, I'll let you know when I have any different opinions on the Vikings going forward. Packers on the other side here. Jordan Love does his best Brett Favre impersonation in this one. And no, I'm not talking about stealing welfare money. Love in this one, 32 of 54 for 389 yards, 4 TDs, and 3 interceptions. That is nothing but a Brett Favre stat line. Love was also seen walking in with his jersey to start the game in order to support the former Packers QB being diagnosed with Parkinson's. Yeah, obviously the rust was there from Jordan Love, but he looked good. They were down early. They came back. This Packers team can be scary. Like, Jaden Reed looks like the wide receiver one. Just get the ball in his hands, and he's gone in a million different directions. The run game still looks solid with Josh Jacobs. The defense a little iffy today, but like, again, when they needed to step up and make plays, they did. And maybe you don't throw 3 interceptions the next game, and I don't know who the Packers play next week, but they are looking good. Shout out to Xavier McKinney. 4 games with the Packers so far and 4 interceptions. That has been a great signing so far by the GM. I forget who their GM's name is. It's not Gutekunst, is it? It seems old. It seems like he isn't the GM anymore. I could be wrong about that. I could be right about that. But, yeah, these are just 2. The NFC North is just very, very good. Very, 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 very good. And didn't see it, but the Vikings are the number 1 team out of there right now. And no, I joked at the start of the episode, there is no QB controversy between 0-2 Jordan Love versus 2-0 Malik Willis. Malik Willis would not have thrown for 389 yards and 4 TDs. Simple as that. Next game up, AFC South clash. Jags 20, Texans 24. Texans lose a close game, and people look at this, and I had the Jags ranked as my worst team in the league going into this for very good reasons. And the Texans were very highly ranked. People would be like, the Texans, they aren't as good as people think, and blah, blah, blah. And they've, again, haven't played necessarily great for the start of the year, but I would also add that this Jags team is much too talented on paper to consistently look that bad. Like, this was more of a normal game for the Jags. Did they still jag it at the end? Yeah, they did. They blew this game totally, but there's too much talent on that Jags roster for it to look abysmal 4 straight games, really. So, yeah, the Texans, CJ Stroud, bounce back game. He had 300 and something, I think he had a lot of passing yards in this one. I think Nico Collins, huge game, leading receiver in the NFL right now. I think he had 150 passing yards. He is one of the best receivers in the NFL. His contract, I think he's right now the 13th highest paid wide receiver in the league. His contract is already a bargain. Already a bargain, and he might be a top 5 receiver come the end of this year. I guess we will see, but Texans, again, lost a game that they shouldn't have been this close, but they still won, so it doesn't matter. Jags on the other side, 9 straight losses now, absolutely embarrassing. But yeah, they have the nice pieces there. They looked pretty good for most of the game. Brian Thomas Jr. is an absolute monster to try to defend, at his size, his speed. 6 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown in this one. Tank Bigsby is the better running back right now. Travis Etienne, he's good, but I think that Bigsby is the guy. I don't know. I'm not overly impressed by the Jags, obviously. I think that they should be better. I think that Trevor Lawrence should be better. He missed multiple deep passes in this one to basically put the game out of reach. There was missed opportunities in the red zone. Tank Bigsby had a long run, got it to the 4-yard line, and they just couldn't get it in. They even went for it on 4th, couldn't get it in. But yeah, the seat has never been hotter for Doug Peterson right now. I think it's just a matter of time before he gets canned. Yeah, Jags, not a good team, but this is that's the kind of effort we should see from the Jags week in and week out more routinely. I don't think that we will, because I think that they are checked out, poorly coached, but the pieces are there for them to play close games against better teams is basically what I'm saying. Next game up, Saints 24, Falcons 26. Younghoe Koo is an absolute legend. Dude just seems like a fun time. Honestly, he seems like a very cool dude, low-key dude. Seems like everyone loves him. What were his actual stats in this one? Other than he kicked the 58-yarder to win the game, was 4 for 4 in field goals, 2 for 2 on his extra points. Younghoe Koo is awesome. Other than that, for the Falcons, wasn't that impressive of a offensive performance. No touchdowns in this one, but again, they win the game because the defense has been playing well, and Younghoe Koo is an absolute legend. People were worried about Bijan Robinson. It's why did Tyler Algier outsnap him? Apparently, they kept Bijan out a little bit with a hamstring injury, so that's why the touches were so out of whack for this week. Bijan should be okay, but yeah, I don't know. The Falcons, again, fun, frisky team. The defense is playing well, and that's a big plus because I think that the offense has the ability to take another level that we just hit another level that we just haven't seen yet. But yeah, Kyle Pitts a no-show again. Jared Goff more touchdowns on the season than Kyle Pitts. That's a funny stat. Yeah, Saints on the other side didn't allow an offensive touchdown in this one and scored 24 points, and they still managed to lose. I think they said it on Pardon My Take, and I think it was there's a second team, or yeah, the only other team to do this was in 1986, and it was the Saints also. So that's a funny one, but yeah, Saints defense has been playing very, very well. No Demario Davis, who missed his first his first game in 13 seasons. That's also incredible. How you don't miss a single NFL game as a middle linebacker in this league for 13 years. Shout out to Demario Davis. He's one of the most underrated players of this generation. But yeah, the Saints defense has been doing their job. They've allowed 4 touchdowns this entire year and are 2-2. If there was just a little bit more consistency on the offense, they'd be 4-0. And the Saints, again, kind of more. Actually, I was expecting the Saints to really bottom out this year, but this is kind of what the Saints have been doing the last couple years. Is yeah, they might be around towards the end of the year to contend for the division, but like contending for the division with the Bucks and the Falcons, it's not great regardless. But yeah, I think the Saints are due for the offense to take a little bit more of an uptick while the defense kind of still remains to be what they're doing. I think that they'll be a little bit better moving forward, but big win by the Falcons anyways. Keep going here. Rams 18, Bears 24. These two teams were having an absolute mid-off. This is bad, not good football from really either side. And the Rams, I don't really blame because it's Matt Stafford throwing to Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington as his top two receivers. Like, that's just not good. I like the Rams' young defensive line. They continue to play well, but like, the Rams, it's just like we can't do anything right now. It's not great. Hi, Lucy. Do you want to come up? You want to come up, Lucy? Here, come up. Oh no, we almost got her. We almost got her on the show. Maybe sometime soon. Bears on the other side. DeAndre Swift heard the rumors that he was going to be replaced by Roschon Johnson, and had his first good game of the season. Rushed it well, 16 carries for 93 yards and a TD, also had 7 catches for 72 yards. He essentially was the offense, so he heard, hey, we might replace you, and he was like, no, the fuck you aren't. So we'll see if he continues to do it. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but Caleb Williams, efficient football, completed 17 of 23 of his passes. That's pretty good. Gets a win. You can see it with Caleb. The offense, again, I don't think that Shane Waldron has any clue on what he's doing, but defense is still playing well. Again, this is kind of two middling teams, don't really care about. We'll keep moving on here. Eagles 16, Bucks 33. The Bucks smoked them. The Bucks absolutely embarrassed them, whooped them back-to-back times they've played. The last one was that playoff game. Baker continues to look awesome. 30 of 47, 347 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Tom Brady took an absolute shot at the Bucks and Baker, saying like Baker was brought in post Brady to bring a little fun, a little levity to the room. And Tom Brady said, "Oh, my idea of having fun is winning Super Bowls. If I want if I want to have real fun, I'll take my kids to Disneyland." Like, sure, I guess. I think the way the Bucks were trending is it's tough. Yeah, when you're winning Super Bowls, it's great, but that last year of Brady and the Bucks, it was not like good. Yeah, did they almost? When was the last year? Yeah, 2022 was the last year. That 2022 season was not good, and I can see how if Brady demands perfection and the roster and everything else just isn't there, how it could get really annoying and you could dread coming into work. And the Bucks' idea when they brought in Baker was Baker is like, okay, Baker's a personality. Baker does that fun shit where he can make plays. He might cost you a little bit, but like the upside in Baker and just having a vibes guy in the locker room is huge. And here we are. The vibes are nice in Tampa. Obviously, having fun is winning games and winning Super Bowls, but demanding perfection when your team isn't great is also really annoying, I could imagine. The Bucks were good. Rashad White also heard the rumors of him getting replaced and matched Bucky Irving's stat line. I was very mad about this one because I bet Bucky Irving to have 50-plus yards in this one. He finished the day with 49, and I think that he had 49 going into the fourth quarter. So That's annoying. Mike Evans continues to be Mike Evans, 8 catches, 94 yards, and a TD. The Bucks were very happy that Vita Vea came back. He's huge. He's what you hope Tavondre Sweat could be. Like, Vita Vea is an absolute monster to account for. Just plugs up basically all the gaps in the interior. He is great. Anything else that I had for the Bucks? Not really. Eagles on the other side. I called them the upscale Giants, and I think I might have been bang on with this one. Because without their weapons, without Devonta Smith, without A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts is just not good at all. And I don't blame, well, I blame a lot on Jalen Hurts because since the start of the season, he's had 11 turnover-worthy plays. That is the most in the NFL by 4. And yeah, he does have a fair share of blame, but his guys aren't out there and whatever. But what was the game plan in this one? You're missing A.J. Brown. You're missing Devonta Smith. Saquon Barkley's right there. Use him. Saquon Barkley only had 10 touches in this one. 8 rushes where he averaged, I think he averaged 8 yards a carry. And they only rushed him that, yeah, he had 12 touches in this one. 10 carries for 84 yards, 8.4 average. And he had 2 catches for 32 yards. Your best player on the field should be getting the ball way more. And maybe that's just involving him in the passing game, like slightly, but I don't know what the game plan was for the Eagles' offense, but my God, their defense talks way too much shit for how bad it is. Like, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is probably the best shit talker in the league, but when he does not back it up, he gets flamed, and he did not back it up whatsoever. He got cooked by Godwin, cooked by Evans, cooked by Trey Palmer, and it was bad. And it was so bad that Darius Slay, Big Play Slay, went on Micah Parsons' podcast, NFC East rival, to clown his teammate, to be like, oh no, he got cooked, he talks a lot of shit, but he didn't back up, ha ha ha. Who are you to talk about, first of all, your teammate, and laugh about, like, oh, he didn't back it up? You, sir didn't back it up. You on Twitter, the moment after the game, to tweet out your career highlights. I've had this many interceptions, this many Pro Bowls, I'm so good. You're like, yeah, you had a great career, man, but I don't know, lack of leadership, lack of accountability, like, it's bad for the Eagles right now. Nick Sirianni also immediately on the hot seat. He has, I don't know, it seems like there is no control of that locker room. It seems like the team, like the players are the ones who are running it, and Nick Sirianni is just kind of hands off to be like, I don't know. I don't know what Nick Sirianni does. Like, I know that Vic Fangio is running the defense. I know that Kellen Moore is running the offense, and Nick Sirianni is supposed to be the rah-rah guy that brings everyone together, is the glue. He's never done that ever. I guess he had the one great season, but he was a coordinator merchant with Gannon and Steichen in that year. Yeah, Eagles are another team where it's been embarrassing start to the year for them. That's for sure. Yeah. Keep moving on here. Bengals 34, Panthers 24. Not much to really talk about. Mad at Joe Burrow for not having 22 more passing yards. Mad at Xavier Leggett for not having 4 more receiving yards. Would have hit a big parlay in that one. The Xavier Leggett bet was just for another bet. But again, I was this close on so many bets this week. But that's gambling. That's betting. It is what it is. Yeah, the Bengals offense looks good. What a shock. Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins with Zach Moss and Chase Brown running the ball effectively. Yeah, it's going to be hard to stop. The Panthers just unfortunately don't have the guys on defense to really match up with that. Derek Brown out for the year. That's their best player in general. They also lose Shaq Thompson in this one. He also looks like he's going to be out for the year. This Panthers defense has taken some big hits, unfortunately, because I did think that they had the potential to be like a average unit anyways, but it's hard to stop against the Bengals, who, when Chase and Higgins and the run game is going, this is a very, very tough offense to stop. Luckily, the Bengals defense is absolutely atrocious. One of the worst defenses in football right now, cannot stop the run game whatsoever. Chuba Hubbard, 100-plus yard game in this one. They are missing B.J. Hill and Sheldon Rankins, but those names aren't big enough to be like, that's the reason like why our defense is so bad. Trey Hendrickson also left this game. I don't know what his injury status is right now. Can listen to that for the Friday show, but the Bengals defense sucks, and I don't think that this, like, the offense is good enough to be able to win games just because they can score a bunch of points. But if the Panthers got out to like an earlier start in this one, earlier lead, I think that maybe the game would have went away from the Bengals, and it almost did. But yeah, the I don't know, kind of a nothing game. The Panthers, it's been a fun story so far. Andy Dalton has been playing good football. I'm very excited to see what happens when Jonathan Brooks comes back. Deontay Johnson, Xavier Leggett, it looks fun. It looks like, again, you can see the reason why I like the team going into the season, and you can see why Bryce Young was just that bad. But yeah, keep going here. Broncos 10, Jets 9. Bo Nix did something I thought that no QB could possibly ever do. Going into half, he was 7 for 17 for negative 7 yards. You heard that right, negative 7 yards. That is the lowest amount of yards with 5+ completions since 91. The next closest was Rex Grossman, who had 5 completions for 5 yards, I believe. Like, negative yards going into half with 7 completions is absolutely unbelievable. What might be even more of an unbelievable stat is Cortland Sutton finished the game with 60 receiving yards, and Bo Nix only finished the game with 53. But I don't know. Say what you want. Bo Nix is a winner, I guess. Yeah, the Broncos offense looks bad. It was a rainy, windy game at MetLife. Broncos defense continues to play very, very well. That defensive line is underrated. The defense in general is underrated. I underrated that defense, if I'm being quite frank. But Zach Allen has been playing very well to start the year, and Pat Surtain doing his thing, locking up Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's had a very tough start to the year so far. With that being said, he's also had, again, I've talked about it already, he's had insanely tough matchups also to start this year so far. But when Alan Lazard is beating or has more yards than you so far receiving in the year, little bit of a concern, just a little bit of a concern. Yeah, I guess Jets on the other side, not good. They kept going back to Breece Hall when maybe they should have, because they're short yardage. Their big bruiser back, Braylon Allen, he averaged 4.3 yards per carry, where Breece Hall on his 10 carries averaged 0.4 yards. Not a good day to be a Breece Hall fantasy owner. Me. I'm sure it'll be okay, but I don't know. The Jets are just, I don't think that they are a contending team. Could they make the playoffs the way the AFC is shaping out right now? Maybe. I need to actually look at the playoff picture right now. Is there a playoff picture right now? Wild card. Who are the wild card teams? Yeah, so the Jets, the Colts, and the Ravens are the wild card teams. I think that, yeah, I've always said two NFC or AFC North teams are definitely making it. And then, yeah, Chargers 2-2, Broncos are 2-2, Raiders are 2-2. Yeah, it's tough. I think it might just be a down year for the AFC in general, which is a good thing, because maybe that means that the Dolphins can sneak back in when Tua comes back. That only hope goes out the window there if we lose to the Patriots this coming week, but that's for Friday's episode to talk about. I don't know. The Jets, they just seem like they're dysfunctional. I don't think Rodgers likes head coach Robert Saleh. I don't think Nathaniel Hackett is a good offensive coordinator. There just seems to be some dysfunction there, and there's a potential last-second Hail Mary that GM Joe Douglas can throw right now, and that is Davante Adams. I'll talk about more about that in a bit, but if they do, like, to me, Douglas and Saleh both on the hot seat right now, definitely. Davante Adams is a job-saving type of throw. It's also, if it doesn't turn out any better, though they were both gone anyways, I think, so might as well throw a third-rounder to the Raiders for Davante and just see what happens. I would do that if I were the Jets. Davante Adams seems like he's done, and I'll talk about that fairly shortly coming up here. Yeah. Keep moving on. Commanders 42, Cardinals 14. 16 consecutive scoring drives for the Commanders, most since 2000. Absolutely incredible. And Jane Daniels, through 4 weeks, is completing 82.1% of his passes, highest through 4 games since the merger. The next closest guys have been Manning and Brady in the years that they won MVP in 08 and 07, respectively. What this Commanders offense is doing, and more specifically what Jaden Daniels is doing, is something that, like, I could not believe, will not believe, like, truly. And he really only missed 3 of his passes, because one of those missed passes was an interception, but still completed, just to the other team. But this offense just looks good. The running game looks good. I definitely discounted this offensive line going into the year, and I think I shouldn't have. Sam Cosmi is a very good player. The rest, I wasn't sure, but I don't know. They're doing their thing, and I can't say anything about it until the wheels maybe start to fall off. I don't know if it will start to fall off, but I have faith that I've seen the Cliff Kingsbury shtick before, and by Halloween, I think this offense could turn into a pumpkin again. Second half for Cliff Kingsbury offenses aren't pretty usually, but what Jaden Daniels is doing is absolutely incredible right now. Don't let anyone discount what he's doing right now is incredible, because it's great. It's fun. Again, the Commanders haven't had any hope for, I mean, basically, since probably around this time last year in 2012 when RG3 was the quarterback. Don't like making those comparisons for obvious reasons, but I don't know. Commanders are a very fun team. Cardinals, on the other side, couldn't get the offense going and really just couldn't get the passing offense going, which is very weird. Who's playing corner on the Commanders? Like Ben St. Juste, Mike Sandstrill, Emmanuel Forbes, like, it should get picked apart by a team with Marvin Harrison on it. I don't need to mention the other guys. Just Marvin Harrison should be enough to get open. I think Dan Quinn probably schemed a great game to take away Marv. Marv still had 5 catches for 45 yards and a TD in this one. James Conner, 18 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, just not the Cardinals offense I was really expecting in this one. I was thinking this was going to be a fun game, and luckily for the Commanders, they had held up their end of the bargain with their 42 points. Yeah, just a fun team right now, fun story right now for the Commanders, leading that division. Next game up here, Patriots 13, San Francisco 49ers 30. Yeah. I didn't really watch much of this game. Actually, for all of the late afternoon games, I had my own flag football game at 5:50, so I caught the tail ends of the games, but I don't have to watch this Patriots 49ers game to tell you exactly what happened in it. The Patriots offense could not move the football, and their defense got tired and couldn't stop the very, very good Niners offense. Simple as that. Really is. Gonzo continues to play well. Keon White continues to play well. Everyone on the Patriots offense continues not to play well. I think it's getting close. I think it's getting close to Drake May. Yeah, it's getting close to Drake May probably getting his first start. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the 49ers, it was a get-right game. They played exactly how they should. No movement in them for my power rankings, though, because, again, you should have kicked the shit out of the Patriots, and that's exactly what you did. You don't get points for doing exactly what you should do to a team. Next game up here, Browns 16, Raiders 20. The Raiders, when at home, are now 5-0 versus rapist quarterbacks. 4-0 versus Big Ben, 1-0 versus Deshaun Watson. And they did this without Devontae Adams and without Max Crosby in their lineups. Awesome. Awesome to see from the Raiders. A game that they probably shouldn't have won, but they did. And it's nice to see. Yeah, and I guess I can talk a little bit more from the Devontae Adams side from the Raiders now. Adams didn't play. I think it was a hamstring injury, but I think it's a hamstring injury, and he's sitting out because he wants to be moved. Apparently, Antonio Pierce liked an Instagram comment or something that Adams will be moved. So I guess we're just kind of playing the waiting game at this point. I don't know. Yeah. Like I talked about, I think the Jets are an obvious option. The Steelers, who were kind of all over Ayuk to start their year, adding Adams and Pickens, that would be a very fun duo. And I don't know, like, it seems like a move that Pittsburgh might make. I think that it would be a fun, exciting move for Pittsburgh to be like, okay, we're 3-1. We're looking pretty good right now. If we can add another weapon to this offense, it would help a lot. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, I think Adams' time as a Raider is coming to an end. Other than that, from the Raiders, Zamir White cannot rush the football whatsoever. He's not good. Simple as that. Browns on the other side. Yeah, this is a team that, okay, opening drives comes, they look good, they score a touchdown, and then just nothing, silence for the rest of the game. I think in their last 3 games, they've scored 4 total touchdowns, and 3 of those have been on the opening drives. That's not good, because opening drives are usually the scripted plays, the plays that they practice every week that, okay, on our first drive, this is what we're doing, and they execute. And then after that, it becomes more of the coach looking at the play sheet, understanding what's going on. But those opening drives are, this is what we want to do, this is our plan of attack, and they drill those plays in practice. And, yep, they do that, and then nothing. Radio silence, rest of the game. The offense sucks. The offense sucks in general between the run game, the offensive line, Deshaun Watson, and it wasn't even the nasty man's fault in this one. Do I think he's a bad quarterback in general and is getting paid an obscene amount of money for how bad of a quarterback he is? Of course. But even the shiniest turd is still a turd at the end of the day. One little bit of gleaming bit of hope for the Browns is Nick Chubb is about to start practicing again. They have 21 days to activate him off the PUP list or off IR for him to be active. I guess we'll see. This can be a big boost to the Browns. I don't know how Chubb comes back from like 2 absolutely devastating, like every ligament in your knee is gone type injuries, but if anyone can do it, he would probably be the guy. Next game up here, Chiefs 17, Chargers 10. The Chiefs, I don't know, they just continue to win in very unspectacular and unremarkable ways. Yet they are 4-0 on the season, so doesn't matter. And it doesn't even matter how the Chiefs are playing right now, because I know at the end of the day, and everyone else knows, that they will be in the playoffs. They will probably be in the AFC Championship game, and they'll just probably end up being the Super Bowl champions again. It's just like the Patriots. Voodoo magic all over again. And if we really want to talk about voodoo magic, Pat Mahomes threw an interception, bad interception, Rashee Rice ran that man down, knocked the ball out, but in the process, Mahomes going for the tackle blew out Rashee Rice's knee. Out for the game, it looked bad. People were like, oh, he's done for the season, he's out. All of a sudden, no ligament damage. He's looking at like maybe 4 weeks. He'll probably get placed on IR. Voodoo magic, Satan rituals, I don't know, but the Chiefs they keep doing it. And I was going to have a big spiel about this, about how they need to trade for a receiver now that Hollywood's out for the year, now that Rashee Rice is out for the year. It can't just be Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster. Simple as that, and maybe it might not be now, but I think that they should still use this as an opportunity to address that position, especially with a team like the Browns, who are definitely faltering a lot right now, where Amari Cooper is available. He's on the last year of his deal, and I think the Chiefs would only owe him like $750,000. That would be on their books for the rest of the year. That sounds like a very easy deal to make, because come playoff time, when your trio is Rashee Rice, Amari Cooper, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, that's terrifying. Isaiah Pacheco running the ball. That offense screams elite. And yeah, if the Chiefs defense continues to play like the Chiefs defense, they are very good. Chargers on the other side got up early. That was that. Yeah. Could not run the ball. Their passing attack just isn't explosive enough to beat a very good Chiefs defense. They had him on the ropes, but like was never really taken seriously, I guess. Hopefully the Chargers get some guys back this week. I guess we will see. Derwin James definitely coming back. And finally, last game up here, Bills 10, Ravens 35. I've definitely said it on the podcast. I've probably even clipped it out for TikTok and Instagram, but I'm going to do it again. Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs I have ever watched. It is him and Adrian Peterson. Those are my 1-2 of guys that I have seen. What he is doing and what he is still doing at his age with 2,000 plus carries under his belt, the guy is incredible. First play of the game, rips off a long touchdown run, and he hit a max speed of 21.29 miles per hour in this one. That was only 0.17 miles per hour slower than Xavier Worthy's deep touchdown ball that he caught. And Henry weighs around 80 pounds more than him. That is incredible. The Ravens very clearly have the best running game in football with Henry and Lamar, and this is how I expected their offense to look. Derrick Henry, if he gets going, you cannot stop him. Doesn't matter how old he is. He's still just incredible. He's so much fun to watch. An easy Hall of Famer for me. Yeah. Derrick Henry, yeah. Simple as that. Other Ravens notes, Mark Andrews goes a second straight game with recording a catch. Jared Goff, more catches in those 2 weeks than Mark Andrews. That's just a very funny stat to say out loud. No, the Ravens, they just played big boy football. They smash mouth football. They ran all over them. The Bills could do nothing to stop them. And this was kind of the Bills' defense with all of those injuries, its first real test. And the game got away from them early in the game script, because if they were able to stop Derrick Henry maybe a little earlier, force Lamar to pass, get Von Miller going, get Greg Russo and that good pass rush going, might have been a little bit different. But not being able to stop the run game whatsoever hurt the Bills badly. And then on the other side, the Ravens defense absolutely shut down the Bills offense. Allen was only 16 of 29 for 180 yards in this one. Couldn't move the ball whatsoever. Again, they were just outclassed, and this was a trap game, and the Bills were my last team of my moneyline dog parlay. And I should have known it was a trap, but I took the bait anyways, and here we are. Am I worried about the Bills? Absolutely not. They'll shake it off. They'll be fine. But the Ravens, this is the team that I expected. That fluke win that the Raiders got, That was tough, but yeah, they played a close one against the Chiefs. They lose a bad game against the Raiders, and then good game against the Cowboys, great game against the Bills. The Ravens are fully back. And yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode. Yeah, I timed that out pretty well. Good week of football, bad week to be a Dolphins fan. It's always a bad week to be a Dolphins fan. We almost got a Lucy appearance. Very, very close, but I guess that'll do it. If you've enjoyed this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And until next time, peace.